the Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, continuing our football coverage for the 2018 season. If you want to check out the entire Pat Mayo Experience draft kit, hit the description. It's down there. And while you're down there, give the episode a like. It keeps the entire package free. That and the quality of information, at least from me, not the greatest. The guests, pretty damn good. Chris Meaney is here. He's one of those guests.
Give yourself some credit.
Can't give myself any credit.
Come on.
I need to lower expectations for all of this. But it's up on Facebook as well. Facebook.com/thepme. It's pinned right to the top. All of the shows, I think we're almost at 20 right now. All the rankings are out for fantasy. We even have a week one look ahead at the DraftKings pricing, which is already out. So I thought today, I know it's early, and we're going to do the win total shows at some point over the course of August. Once we get closer, and we'll have the weekly picks, the week of when we're super serious, but why not look at week one?
Hey, man, it's never too early.
So let's go game by game here, look at some of these spreads and games that interest you. So your Philadelphia Eagles,
oh baby,
get the first game.
Yeah.
They get to raise the banner at home, and they get the team that probably should have beat them in the playoffs.
Yeah, there's real no excuse for them not to.
So the Falcons are 4-point underdogs in Philly on Thursday night. We saw this last year, and everyone's just like, oh, New England's going to roll Kansas City. And all of a sudden, Kansas City was really good. Like, people keep talking about the Falcons as this team that's going to, regress positively this year. They got to score more touchdowns.
Yeah.
So 4-point spread seems big.
It does seem big, yeah. They're really, for once, Philly's a favorite here at home. They've been
the Super Bowl
home
champs.
underdogs the whole way through the playoffs. So, yeah, I mean, it is a big spread. I'm hoping I'm there at that game. I'm hoping I'm with the crazy fans watching that banner roll. But you're right about Atlanta, especially Julio. At least they used him in the red zone last season. Who knows what the health is? Alshon Jeffrey going to be starting week one? Is Carson Wentz? All signs point that Wentz is going to be the week one starter. But
how healthy is he really going to be?
And is that line going to change when Foles comes in? Oh, the Super Bowl MVP, and now it's a 3? You know what I mean? So
he has a best-selling book.
Yeah, he does. Although I think maybe Pizapia just passed
I saw that Pizapia has his fantasy black book, which everyone should go buy. It's a great book.
It is.
I know Franchise did work on it. Sealy did work on it. It's always a great read every year.
It is. So I think he was bragging this morning, actually, before I came on, about how he finally passed Foles. So good for him. Jokes aside, though, yeah, I would take Atlanta, actually, in those points. I mean, it's a lot of pressure. Week one at home, you're winning that banner.
What do you expect from Philly this year? Because they actually kind of got better.
They did get better, yeah, for sure. I mean, both sides of the football, the defensive line, the offensive line is great. Everyone's still intact. They lost Blunt, but they still have multiple running backs.
All right, so what happens in the backfield then?
I actually like Corey Clement. I think he's the best back that they have.
Okay, so we're sold that Jay Ajayi is not someone you want to draft in fantasy.
No, not somebody that should be RB20 off the board. For Doug Peterson, and you know this, we watched the Eagles from day one with Peterson when it was Matthews in the backfield. Sproles, he likes to rotate through backs.
And now Sproles is back too.
And Sproles is back now. So, I mean, when Ajayi came...
But also, just as a caveat to all of this, at the Super Bowl weekend, I was there with Cust. Darren Sproles refused to shake
I
Kim's
remember
hand.
that. Good call.
Smart. He wanted his career to continue.
He said he wanted one more year. That's exactly what he's coming back for, one more year. I mean, when Ajayi came, he was nice. The touches started to go up and up and up, but Clement was used more in the red zone. He had more red zone targets, more red zone touches, more opportunities than Ajayi from the moment that Ajayi was there. And say what you want about the Super Bowl, but that's trusting somebody. And Corey Clement was pretty good in the Super Bowl. He was trusted on multiple times. He was catching balls out of the backfield for them. He caught a touchdown on third down.
He was getting the red zone work.
Yeah, he's not one of those guys that use between the tackles. Sure, they're going to use Ajayi that way, but I just don't see him as a back that's going to consistently get 15 carries in this offense. It's not going to happen.
That's the problem. And one week it might be 21. The next week it might be 5. There's never going to be any trade. He'll be a great DraftKings play 3 weeks during the season.
Yeah.
You're not going to know with 3 weeks, but it's going to happen.
And Wentz has plenty of options. I mean, he's still going to run himself. He's got, Aguilar stepped up big last year. He's got Jeffrey coming back. He's got Ertz. He's got a better deep threat, Mike Wallace and Torrey Smith. So they did upgrade in parts where I guess they were weak last year.
Yeah, it's just Atlanta's a really tough one to figure out because it feels like this is really. I mean, they still made the playoffs last year. They almost made the Super Bowl.
Yeah, for sure. And Freeman's still solid. Tevin Coleman's a nice, complementary piece that can step in and be okay. They draft Ridley, who's the most polished rookie wide receiver in class.
I don't know how much he does this season.
I don't think he's going to do a whole lot because they have guys in the option. Yeah, they have so many two backs that can catch. They can run the football. They got Julio Jones still, a hooper, another year of him. Sanu is still playing in the slot. So I don't think he's he's going to do a whole lot, but he is the most polished wide receiver among rookies, I think.
Do you think Philly wins the division?
I do, yeah. I don't think it's going to be as easy. I don't think it's a walk. Like, I think the Giants are obviously going to be better. They got some offensive weapons. They improved.
Yeah, they draft Barkley and get Beckham back.
And even
getting like Nate Solder.
Nate Solder is a huge loss for the Patriots, and it's a great pickup. I think they drafted like a Hernandez kid who allowed like 0 touches to his quarterback and like over 700 snaps in 2 years of college. So the offensive line is improved, and Washington, they get Geis. So I think, Dallas maybe takes a step back, but they're still going to be competitive. They're still going to run the football, be competitive.
Yeah, and how good Dallas is going to be.
But then the Eagles also play the Rams again. I think they have a game with the Vikings. They go into New Orleans and play the Saints. Their schedule is not super easy. It's going to be tough for them, and those division games are always a battle.
Yeah, you can't be like the Patriots, where you just win the division every year, you get the easiest schedule every year. I think part of that has to do with just playing in the AFC East.
Yeah.
When you're playing the rest of those losers the rest of the time, you're doing fine.
So I was thinking about the Patriots and like, okay, this is the year. I know you mentioned Tim, and it's like every year. I remember doing the show with you this time last year. Brady is going to be crap this year. He's fallen off. It's like, how can you say that? And then I look to this year and I see Edelman coming off the injury, suspended 4 games. And I see Gronk in his injury history. Then I see Cooks traded. Then we talk about Solder, who's gone. And then Dion Lewis, who's gone, who nobody can tackle in the open field. And then they draft a rookie running back in the first. And then they pick up Jordan Matthews. And they're relying on Hogan, who's had some injury issues. And then Brady's another year older. It's like, okay, but the division sucks. So it's like they're just going to be fine.
They just need to be healthy for the final 10 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
Get some momentum in December, hit the playoffs, and just hope no one gets hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the move.
But it's coming.
So that's the Thursday night game. The next game is the must-watch of the week to kick off Sunday when we're all fired up. We've entered lineups. We've made our bets. We can finally say the word betting and gambling now. Because, hey, congratulations, America. You caught up to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Big thumbs up from us here. So Buffalo is at Baltimore, the must-see game of the week. -5.5, the Ravens are favored. I think the Ravens are one of the most underrated teams coming into the season.
Well, they're improved because their entire wide receiver corps is completely different.
And their offensive line is healthy again.
Yeah, healthy
and Collins
again.
was good last year.
Collins was great last year. Yeah, he was phenomenal. So that's a guy that I have no problem drafting where Ajayi's going. I'd much rather have Collins. So he looked great, and Kenneth Dixon has never been healthy.
Kenneth Dixon has already been injured in the preseason, in training camp. He's already been carted off the field.
Exactly, and we
don't know the extent of the injury yet. But
okay, well, we already seen Buck Allen. It can't be good for a guy who's been hurt multiple times. We've hardly seen. He's been hurt more times than he's had starts in the NFL.
Or suspended for substance abuse.
Yeah, so you bring in Michael Crabtree, Willie Snead. I know you like Willie Snead.
I don't know.
You can't love them, but it's still an upgrade for what they had last year. Pepe had absolutely nothing.
I just like Crabtree. I've always been a big... But for me, like, the defense was still good last year. Yeah. Flacco's another year removed from that knee injury. And if he sucks, bring in Lamar Jackson.
They're going to use Jackson. Absolutely. They have guys in there.
I'm sick of this stupid fucking wide receiver Lamar Jackson.
Sure.
That can't be a real thing.
No, but they'll use him on certain sets. They'll bring him in, in shotgun situations, or they'll use him because they have guys in their coaching staff that use mobile quarterbacks before, and Colin Kaepernick and Michael Vick. So they'll use them in certain situations. But you're right. The defense is fine. They did okay last year. Almost made the playoffs. If it wasn't for a late touchdown from Bengal, they probably would have been in. They would have been over Buffalo. Right? Yeah. So this is like they'll turn games.
This is a revenge match of sorts.
They'll play the way that they want to play in short yardage throws and running the football and rely on Tucker and their defense. Yeah, I like them and over Buffalo. Buffalo has absolutely nothing to offer.
Oh, please, but Buffalo's great. Buffalo, potential Super Bowl winner, right?
Man, like
over under. I want to see what their over-under on wins is. I'm guessing it's like 4.5.
It's too bad I'm not going to see Gabe every day in the office because I made enough money off him. Like, Buffalo's beating Jacksonville. 100% Buffalo's beating Jacksonville. It's like, Gabe, they have to score 14 points to beat Jacksonville. Like, and everyone loves Calvin Benjamin, and I'm on board with Calvin Benjamin getting 150 targets, but can he handle 150 targets?
Calvin Benjamin's a stiff is what he is.
I was just seeing everywhere, like, gotta draft Benjamin here in this spot. Like, you'd be happy about Benjamin, but, like, he hasn't been able to stay on the football field, and I don't know if he can handle top coverage, and at the end of the day, this team's going to run the football. And they have 2 inexperienced quarterbacks.
I'm trying to find I just tried to find what the odds were for them to win the division for Baltimore, and just like what the win
Baltimore.
I think Baltimore to win the division's not because everyone's like really high on the Browns now.
Yeah.
And the Steelers are going to be the Steelers. They're going to be good.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not convinced the Browns are going to be good. And like, the Bengals aren't great. And Baltimore just could be good.
Yeah, and the Steelers are one injury away from not being good, or a Bell holdout, or Ben goes down. Like
regular season, Buffalo 6.5. Oh, to bet the under, you have to pay minus 160. Everyone just betting the under. I saw in some places it was 5.5. They just dropped the line.
Makes sense.
What's the path to 7 wins for the Bills?
I'd have to
the Jets and Dolphins are just atrocious?
That's what I mean. Like, I have to look at the rest of the schedule. I'm not sure what division they're playing this year, but I mean, you look, they're going to lose both games to the Pats. The Dolphins and the Jets are certainly winnable games, but also losable for them. I'm not crazy about this team. I don't expect to make the postseason.
No, of course not. No. Who even starts for them week 1? A.J. McCarron?
It has to be, I think.
Nate the Great?
I think it has to be.
Get Nate back in there? Jay Peterman?
Yeah, I mean, and what you look down their depth chart, and it's like, Zay Jones, he's coming off an injury. He disappointed last season. Charles Clay was hurt a lot.
We also saw a video of Zay Jones being buck naked and trying to jump out a window.
Yeah, he should be concentrating on other things besides football.
He still might. He could potentially be suspended.
Yeah, he could. And then who's their third? Jeremy Curley, I think?
They have Jeremy Curley. They also have Rod Streeter, I think. Andre Holmes.
Come on. Like, Holmes was there too for a long time last year.
Talent. Overflowing with talent.
And who knows what's going to happen to Shady, right? It looks like he's going to be fine. He's going to play, but who knows?
You don't know.
You don't know. He could be suspended 6. Like Zeke, he could get this suspension, 3/4 of the way through the season.
Oh, the Bills play the NFC North, too. So they have
the losses all those teams.
Vikings, Packers, Bears, and Lions.
They're losing all 4 of them. Yeah. Those are all losses to those teams, in my opinion.
And it looks like they played the South. They played the Texans, Colts, Jags, and who's the other team in that division?
Texans, Colts, Jags, Titans.
Titans. Yeah. Fun. Yeah. 6 wins seems tough.
Yeah, very tough.
7 wins, sorry.
Yeah.
4 wins, maybe?
Yeah. 4 wins, a couple inside the division. Maybe they surprised somebody. I know they beat Atlanta last year in Atlanta, but they shouldn't. It was just some.
Well, that's Buffalo. At least at the beginning of the year, they were that team that was just generating turnovers.
Yeah, they were. That's what I mean. Their defense, won them a lot of those games. They went into Carolina, I think.
But you just don't generate turnovers at that rate. Yeah, that's an unsustainable thing to do.
Yeah, for sure.
So anyway, but with Baltimore, I wanted to find what the division odds were for them.
They also had a quarterback in Tyrod Taylor people hated, but didn't turn the ball over himself. So
he was highly efficient.
Yeah,
he did what they wanted to do.
Exactly.
Just be mediocre on offense.
The Bills may be the worst team in football this year.
I can see that.
Yeah.
There are some other bad teams.
Yeah.
And it's always hard to predict because it is the NFL.
Yeah.
That you're like the people with the Rams last year. The Rams are garbage.
Yeah.
Now the Rams are like the Super Bowl.
That's the Super Bowl.
So there is
things can change.
There is some give and take with this sort of stuff, but I gotta try to find what the division odds are. All right, conference wildcard, season specials. It's so great we can just read this stuff out loud.
I know.
And not get into trouble for it. To win division, the Bills. The Bills are actually tied with the Jets. Okay. I think the Jets are going to be better than the Bills, and I hate to say that. Well, because you know how much I hate the Jets.
Yeah, of course. But I like their weapons more. They have a better wide receiver. I mean, Robbie Anderson is solid. Jermaine Kearse was great. They
have 3 quarterbacks who are better than every Bills quarterback.
Yeah, and Quincy Enunwa and Corral is not fantastic, but him and Powell can split.
Lizzie McGuire.
Yeah, I mean,
Baltimore is plus 450 to win the North. I'd say you play this division 4.5 times. They win it once.
Yeah, maybe.
And listen, we talk about all the things going wrong with the Patriots in terms of aging and injuries and stuff like that. What if Ben gets hurt? Or what if Ben's just too old and broken down?
That's what I mean. They're one injury away from that. If Ben goes down or Bell decides to hold out, if he holds out for the first, he's going to play. But remember, this guy, he started his rookie campaign missing the first 3 games of the season because of a foot injury. He had a hyperextended knee injury in his second year. He missed a playoff game. He blew his knee out the year before that. He had off-season groin surgery 2 years ago playing the Patriots. He's hardly been healthy. He had a marijuana suspension himself.
Move to Canada, you'll be fine. You can gamble and smoke all the way you want.
Ricky Williams and Johnny.
Oh, Johnny.
Yeah, at least he's going to play now, I think.
Listen, last time I was in Montreal, I'm going to Montreal. Actually, when people are watching this, I'll be in Montreal.
Yeah.
Last time I was in Montreal, the Ticats were playing the Alouettes in the CFL in the preseason.
Yeah.
Went to the club, had to sing with Johnny.
Oh, man. phenomenal. That's like
And, he's wearing like this like
material for
abrasive yellow hat, so no one can miss him. Not drinking, just smoking cigs. It's perfect.
I watched a Rough Riders game in Saskatchewan when I was out west working. It was
How was that?
It
Intense?
was an experience. I've been around NFL stadiums, and I'm not big on the CFL myself, but that was actually an experience.
The last time I saw a CFL game, I was in Calgary, and I got punched out at the bar later on that night.
Did you?
I got into an argument with some dude
About how the CFL's awful.
yeah, the CFL sucks.
Yeah.
It was like, it was the year the Lions were 0-16.
Sure.
And they were
And
just
almost probably missed the playoffs by a game or something.
No, the Detroit
Detroit.
Lions.
They're
The
BC.
Detroit Lions were 0-16 that year. The Orlovsky running out of the back of the end zone year. And this guy's like, Stampeders would crush the Lions. What are you talking about?
Like, come on, settle down.
Yeah,
I
like,
love the
calm down.
rage that some of their fans and players have about the potential return of Terrell Owens. Coming to the CFL.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I think it would be awesome. But who does this guy think he is? 45 years old. Yeah, I saw the footage of him running fast with Julio. He can't run fast in the CFL. Light him up. Anyways,
I just hope Johnny's great. You know how much I love Johnny.
yeah, I hope he is too. But you're right about Pittsburgh. One injury away, a Bell injury to start the season, or a Brown injury, or who knows if anything happens to Antonio.
Yeah, and the win total for Baltimore is 8. I like that over.
Yeah.
Cincinnati at Indianapolis. Luck's throwing the ball.
Yeah, here's a
Throwing
game.
not just a sponge.
Real
He's throwing a real football.
Real size
not a
NFL
Nerf
footballs.
ball, not a high school ball,
No.
a real NFL football.
Yeah.
Do you think he's going to be good again?
I do think he's going to be good when he plays, but I do have some concerns now. The offensive line is obviously better. Drafting Nelson, that helps. I have some concerns about like Marlon Mack, and he pass block for Luck.
Yeah, but you have Neiman Hines back there. Jordan Wilkins was brought in. Like I don't think it's a guarantee Marlon Mack. Just he's the guy. He's probably not the guy.
100% a guarantee that he's not the guy. Yeah, they just went out and drafted 2 backs this year, like you just said. So, yeah, every time he's played, he's been like a top 5 quarterback every time. Like last time we saw him, it was a shortened season. He was still on pace for 4,000 yards and 30+ touchdowns. He's a stud. He's a beast. He's still got T.Y. Hilton. He doesn't have a lot of weapons. Defense still sucks.
Alligator arms Eric Ebron now in the mix.
Yeah, and I actually like Ebron. I know that
I like Doyle better than Ebron.
I like Doyle too, but the truth of the matter is Frank Reich is there, and he's going to use his tight ends the exact way he used in Philadelphia, 2 or 3 tight ends. He's already been vocal about that. He says Ebron reminds him a lot like Ertz. He's athletic, he's big, and he's going to line him up on. Here you go. Here's my wide receivers on the left.
Big
here's you on the
difference
right.
between the two. Zach Ertz can catch.
Zach Ertz can catch, sure. But you know what I mean? He's going to use 2 tight ends. He even said he's going to use 3. And Eric Swoop, if he can get on.
Oh, Eric Swoop.
Yeah.
Back in the mix.
Back in the mix. But they don't have any options. That's what I mean. Like Ryan Grant's their number 2.
Yeah,
I like Ryan Grant as a last pick.
What about
Flyers, sleeper.
Chester Cheetos. He's out there. Chester Rogers.
But that guy is short, can't run. I think there's better hope for was it Deion Kane? I think there's better hope for him.
It's got to be Kane. I just preferred it would be Dean Kane.
Dean, yeah.
No. Dean Kane used to play Superman on TV.
Got you.
But
yeah, we can just call him
throw him in there.
Yeah, no, he will be. He will. They don't have any options. So I actually like Grant as like one of my late Flyer picks.
What do we do with Cincinnati? Like the spread in this game is.
I think they're a better team than the Colts. What's the spread in it?
The spread is -3. Indianapolis. Start off. Like I don't know what to do with Cincinnati. Like they were just such a dumpster fire.
They're awful. Yeah, they're brutal. John Ross is not great. And
real good use of draft capital. John Ross.
Yeah, stupid, right? In the first, and they're already talking about Eifert being hurt again. The offensive line has improved a bit. Mixon's a little bit slimmer.
I don't know if Mixon's all that good.
Yeah, that's
Gio Bernard might be better.
He was better on the football field last year than Mixon. I mean, when Mixon had the 2 games that he missed for concussion, like Gio was better than him. He produced better, but I think Mixon is the better talent. I think the upside lies with him. But you're right; like it's a huge question mark what he's going to be. I would take the Bengals on the road in this game.
I just worry about their defense. I worry about their defense without Burfict to begin the year because it's so bad without him.
Yeah,
was he out 3 games?
Yeah, he's missing time to start. And you just look for somebody else to step up in that offense besides AJ. AJ had a down year, but it's just like he needs some help. Like Brandon LaFell, Tyler Boyd, these guys are.
Oh yeah, LaFell Sexwell. He's still on the team.
Like he's their number 2.
Yeah.
And like people are excited about Ross because of opportunity to bounce back, but like he hasn't shown us anything.
I mean, Ross just basically runs a straight
line. He
line,
just
doesn't
runs fast.
he?
Yeah, he just runs fast. And Tyler Croft was okay as a tight end.
I guess if Eifert can I know he's already banged up. They came out at least today and said that he might be ready for week 1.
Yeah.
That at least that gives them a red zone presence, whether they throw it to him or not. It's something the other defense actually have to account for in the red zone, rather than just being like, we'll triple cover AJ Green and figure out the rest.
This is a coin flip game to me. I probably wouldn't touch it on the spread, but I would jump on Cincy on the money line as dogs.
Generally speaking, I'm kind of with you on this one. Like in these coin flip games, I always just try to lean. And
home team?
It's not even home team. It's just a very simplistic thing to think about. Who has the better quarterback?
Yeah.
And if we don't know, because we don't know if Luck's healthy.
Right.
But if Luck's healthy, Indianapolis is just they would have by far the best player on the field.
That's fair. And still got Ty there. And Luck's going to play in the preseason, so you're going to know.
And
they're going to play him in the preseason.
We got like 5 weeks to figure this out. We change our minds on
He's only now
stuff.
just starting to throw footballs. So.
Real footballs. Houston at New England, probably the best of the early
It's got to be the highest total. I haven't looked too much at week 1.
It is 51. Saints and Bucks was 52.5. They dropped it 3 points when Jameis went out, but I don't think Jameis is worth 3 points in an over-under. I just don't.
I mean, you throw Fitzpatrick in there.
They're like the same guy. Just Fitzmagic is slightly worse.
Yeah.
They're both going to throw it high. They're both going to be wild. Chuck it into coverage.
If I remember last year, those 2 games, two times they played each other,
were like low scoring.
They were low scoring. Yeah, they didn't even come close to that total. This is the game, though. Yeah.
J.J. Watt's back. New England is a 6.5 point favorite at home. We get to see Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. We get to see that high-powered offense that was phenomenal with Watson. Even including Lamar Miller was great, too.
Lamar Miller stinks.
But he was great at when his targets, his carries.
He was good when Watson played.
All of his touchdowns basically with Watson.
But like, if Lamar Miller was so good, why was he splitting carries with Alfred Blue at the end of the year?
Yeah, I think it's with Miller. He's
better in small doses.
He is better in small doses, 100%. Even going back to his Miami days, he hardly ever eclipsed 20 carries, 20 touches. He didn't do it his first year with Houston. And Foreman's not going to be ready to start the year, probably not.
No, but I think the way to play the Texans' backfield, like fantasy-wise at least, because people are like big on Miller. Like, Miller's so underrated.
Because he's just going in the 5th, that's why.
Sure, and like he'll get some buzz, and maybe he'll end up going in the 4th, like in that Alex Collins range. I'd much rather have Alex Collins. It just seems like Miller, if you draft him, be like open to trading him after 2 weeks.
Sure, yeah, he'd be the perfect sell high candidate once you see that start. Those
and then
first
Foreman
few weeks,
probably
and
comes
then Foreman
back.
comes back and eventually takes over. I see that too. Absolutely, I think that's a smart move. Draft him, get the value, and then flip him. Where do you get into bye week?
Where do you have Hopkins ranked at receiver?
I got him at 2.
I got him at 2 as well.
Yeah.
Overall, where would you draft him? Like versus the running backs? I go
like 6.
I have him at 5. I go the 3 running backs. I don't have Zeke as a part of that mix.
Okay. So Zeke at 4 or
at running back? I have him at number 6. He's like my number 8 pick overall.
Kamara
and Barkley.
Yeah,
but I have 3 receivers on a tier above those.
Would you change in standard? Would you go?
Yeah, I would.
Kamara, maybe.
Yeah, I would go Zeke over Kamara in standard, no PDR. But
yeah,
I only deal with
Gurley, Bell, DJ. Yeah, I would go Gurley, Bell, DJ.
That's where
Then I would go Zeke, Barkley, and then I would go Hopkins, and then Kamara.
Brown and Hopkins.
Brown, Hopkins.
So I go the top 3. Then I go Brown, Hopkins, OBJ.
Yeah.
Then the running backs, then that giant wide receiver tier.
Yeah, he's a stud, man. Hopkins is a G. He's awesome.
He is amazing.
Great. Yeah, he's finally got a quarterback to work with that can move around and is smart. We saw it in that 6-game stretch. All of them were great. Even Fuller. I know everyone's like, oh, he's not going to catch 7 touchdowns in 6 games, but he's going to catch touchdowns. It's a high, potent offense. Well, it's powerful.
I'm trying to find a part of this offense that I can get behind and get at like value. So like Fuller
he's the cheapest one because people are down on him though.
People aren't down on him though. You're going to get the one guy in your league that's like
sure, and let that guy. You're not going to get him that way.
Then you're not going to get him. But like Kiki Kute could be someone.
Yeah,
Kiki.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great name.
He could be. Yeah, I mean better than.
I'm looking at Steven Anderson.
Yeah, Anderson. Which tight end is going to step up?
I think it's just potential.
Fedorowicz is gone, right?
Fedorowicz is gone. He's got too many dizzies.
Yeah,
he spun
all
himself.
of them.
They all suffered from concussion problems.
Yes.
Yeah, well, the league just told them, tell the truth. And that was it. They had to go. But Ryan Griffin's still going to be there. But he's like an actual real life NFL tight end.
Yeah.
Steven Anderson's just like a freak athlete.
Yeah, he is.
Just get him the ball and he can just push people away.
I have one of my
he can
dynasty
sprint
leagues,
down
a
the
deep
field.
dynasty league.
There's the potential for him, depending on how they run this offense, that if he does remain on the field, he's not asked to block. Yeah. That he is the part of this offense, not even being drafted.
Right.
That you could mine some value out of. He's not my favorite sleeper tight end.
Yeah.
I like Vance McDonald. I like Ben Watson. Yeah. Everyone and their mom likes George Kittle me Timbers.
Yeah, I'm big on Kittle, but this is that's the thing. Like Burton and Kittle I talked about for weeks and weeks, and now I'm ending up with none of them because they go too early. I'm a type of guy who likes to wait it out on tight ends typically, or unless I see some value. Like Ertz was a 7th, 8th round pick for me last year. Am I going to draft him in the 3rd this year? No, I'm not. Maybe in the 4th, maybe. But typically I like to take those guys later on, and that's Kittle. I think Kittle's going to be.
I think the guy to take this year is Delaney Walker. He's going in.
It's another guy.
He's going in like the 8th round.
Yeah, that's
why.
Yeah,
people are taking Jimmy Graham in the 4th.
Who statistically, besides the touchdowns, had his worst season ever.
He's real slow now.
Like yards per catch, not there.
You know what? If you play in best ball, where you don't have to play like week to week type of stuff, or if you just want to like mass enter like the DraftKings Millionaire Maker, use Jimmy Walker. I mean golf mode. Jimmy Graham.
Yeah.
He's gonna have like a 4-touchdown game this year.
He is.
3-touchdown game.
Yeah, because of those red zone targets. He led the league last year.
But he's gonna have weeks where he has like 1 point.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like your typical tight end though.
But Delaney's not. Delaney's the opposite of that guy.
Delaney is consistent. You know what you're gonna get. Yeah, he absolutely. The touchdowns. They came down a little bit, but they can probably go back up. He dropped. I remember watching 3 or 4 games where they went right through his hands in the red zone.
But even that offense in general just should be better.
Step up. Larky's gone. Offense, absolutely all around. I think
we spent a lot of
better season.
We spend a lot of time talking about the Texans here, but you mentioned the Patriots right off the hop. They're downgraded on the offensive line. A lot of their offensive weapons are banged up. Yeah. I think they're a team that's looking forward to playing in December. I don't think that Brady's ever going to overlook a game. That's not his style. Right. But 6.5 points just seems like a lot, especially with if Watt's actually healthy. Yeah. You got Clowney and Watt going up against a bad offensive line. Yeah. It's going to be tough, man.
Brady's going to know what it's like to lose his left tackle pretty early, I'd say. You might realize in week 1. And like I said, no Edelman. And who's stepping up there? Like,
I think it's
Gronk 100% healthy. Hogan, does everyone love Hogan because he's going to 1,000 targets? Like,
I actually do like Hogan a lot. I think he's in a great spot. Yeah, well, he's going to be the guy.
Yeah.
And listen, he almost got you guys in the Super Bowl.
I know. Well,
when healthy last year, he was like a top 10 fantasy wide receiver.
Yeah, no, his chemistry with Tom Brady was since day one of a couple of years ago.
Well, he's 7'11", man. He's always open.
Yeah.
I think Burkhead's the guy in this offense that you want, though. He's like the cheaper part of that backfield. He might be the one to fill in for Edelman the first 3 weeks.
They'll use all 3.
But he'll play the slot, too.
He'll play the slot. White will play the slot. Michelle can catch.
I don't know if Sonny Michel's going to be any good.
I think he's going to be good. I don't know if he's going to be great this year because it's the Patriots and everyone knows how they use their running backs.
Yeah, watch it be Jeremy Hill.
But I think he's
not cut yet, Jeremy Hill.
Yeah.
Or Mike Gillisley.
Or Mike Gillisley, who's not cut either. So I think Michelle is a great dynasty target. I don't think he's a great redraft.
Yeah, but he's going ahead of Burkhead right now.
Yeah.
Like in a PPR, that makes no sense to me.
And Burkhead was really good last season. Before the injury, they used him in the red zone.
They used him near the goal line.
Yeah, they used him in the red zone. Burkhead is a really good running back. Actually, I was pretty wrong on him last year. He was my guy. That's the guy I wanted last year. It's like, oh man, Gillisley, and then Lewis is great, and White is in there, and yeah, it is what it is. But I would take Houston in that game.
Jags at Giants. 3.5.
Where is it?
It's in the Meadowlands. The Giants are 3.5-point dogs to the Jags. Are the Jags the most overrated team coming into the year? Because I feel like you play it one of two ways. Like either you believe in what Jacksonville did.
I believe in what they did.
I just find defense is hard to sustain year after year. You see the top offenses remain the top offenses. And yeah, there are outliers where you see the best defenses remain the best defenses, but they were so good on defense last year. Let's say they're 10% worse on defense. You lose a lot more games that way.
You do, because the offense wasn't all that great.
Listen, Blake Bortles isn't good.
No.
Just because they went to the AFC Championship game and he got an extension doesn't mean Blake Bortles is good all of a sudden.
I know. In fantasy, he always finishes as a top 10 quarterback from the garbage time and time that he runs around. But I do believe in Jacksonville. I do. But at the same time, the Giants are heading into this year healthy, 100% healthy,
revamped,
a fresh running back. Ingram, Shepard, Beckham. Offensive line's a little improved. Defense is not.
I just think Beckham. I think this is a statement just against the problem is to go back to sort of like in my coin flip type of games, like a 3.5-point underdog at home is just a lot of points just to go against in week one. And some of these teams that everyone now projects Jacksonville to be good. It's a lot of pressure.
It is a lot of pressure.
They're no longer the team that no one just doesn't expect
right,
to be
because
there
last year
anymore.
they were swaggy, they were cocky, they were running with it. Nobody expected it, and they were just there to prove people wrong. And now maybe they're feeling a little bit too good. That's certainly a possibility. But I do believe in their defense, 100%. I think it's phenomenal.
It's not like Eli's getting the ball out quickly, but if they can potentially beat them with Barkley. That would be the path to winning this game.
Absolutely.
And even if it's a field goal game, Giants
that's the thing.
cover.
If it was 3, if it was like 3, 2.5 or something like that, I'd be like, oh, Jacksonville. I'd be thinking them, but 3.5. Right now, I'll lean Giants.
All right,
they're healthy.
Steelers at the Browns. The Browns are 6-point dogs at home. Everyone likes the Browns this year, but we don't even know about Josh Gordon anymore.
Yeah, I know. So I'd be on the Browns in this game, and this would be the time that they screw me over, because every time Pittsburgh goes into Cleveland, they're favored by like 7.5, 8, and they hardly win that football game.
Remember last year?
And
I think it was week 1 last year where Kaiser was had them up. Kaiser's pretty good. Then it turns out he was not good.
Yeah, and then he threw a bunch of picks, and he was the reason they lost. But I look at Cleveland, and I'm with everybody else. I understand. I get it, man.
The defense is surprising. One of the reasons, I talked about Jacksonville last year as a potential sleeper was, one, everyone jumped off the bandwagon after oh my God, this team's going to be so good. But Feinberg and I even talked about it. They were like the college all-star team on defense.
Yeah.
They just had built up this defense that you knew it was going to be good.
Absolutely,
And Cleveland's doing the same thing on defense, but all anyone talks about is the offense. I just don't know how good the offense is going to be.
I think the defense is good enough to keep them in games. Like last year, it was good enough to keep them in games with no weapons and no real threat on the ground, and Kaiser turned the ball over.
Do you think it's Tyrod week 1?
I think it's Tyrod week 1, absolutely. It's Tyrod week 1. We already talked about him off the top of the show. He is what he is. He's manageable. He can make things happen. Everyone's like, oh, the Bills fans oh yeah, Landry's not going to catch it. So what? He can catch 80 balls in that offense. They got Gordon. They have whatever, Coleman. They have 3 backs who can play.
But it just seems like they have too many guys now.
They do have too many guys, but Jackson likes to rotate. You go back to his older days, he liked to rotate and run the football.
Also, Hugh Jackson, terrible coach.
Awful. Idiot.
So that's not helping.
Right, it's not. It's not helping him. But he's got a quarterback apparently that he loves in Tyrod Taylor, and a system that he can whatever.
They love him so much they took a quarterback with the first overall pick.
Yeah, but they traded draft picks and signed him to get him, which I thought was to me I was shocked that they went and got him when I thought that they're going to take a draft. They're going to draft a quarterback in the first 4
let's
picks.
throw this out here. Maybe the Browns don't know what they're doing.
Would that be the first time you said that?
No.
Or the last?
I mean, at least with Sashi, it seemed like they had a plan.
Yeah.
It was the Sam Hinkie plan with the 76ers. Let's get assets,
Yeah.
get all these young guys that are
process.
underneath the cap, and we can be manageable. And they fire him, let's trade for Tyrod Taylor and draft a quarterback. Let's trade for Jarvis Landry and sign him to way too big of a deal.
Oh, yeah. They love
We got money to spend.
5th highest paid wideout, 4th highest paid
let's
wideout.
sign Carlos Hyde, then draft Nick Chubb.
Right, and they can get out of that in a year, but I actually like Hyde the most out of that backfield. He's good. He's talented. 90 targets last year. Did well with them. He's good, man.
But I mean, is he really going to come in and take away Duke Johnson targets? I don't think so.
No, but I think he should. I think that he should be the guy that starts the season getting the first down, second down carries.
I think what they'll end up doing is almost like a lot what we saw with Hyde last year in San Francisco, where they're just going to run him into the ground.
Sure, yeah.
The first few weeks.
Why not? Run him in and then get out of the contract after year 1.
Yeah, and
why wouldn't you do that?
Then ease Chubb into it, almost like a lot like what we thought the Titans would do with DeMarco Murray.
Yeah.
And Derrick Henry. It just never happened.
No, it never did. Yeah.
So.
Murray retired.
Yeah, it was either go to the Bills or retire. He was like, I'll retire, thank you very much.
Yeah, I like Cleveland in that game. I think that they're a team that can flirt with 6, 7.
And we just know how much Pittsburgh struggles on the road.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's just such an infuriating team. They're minus 300 to win that division. Like I said, Baltimore's 4.5 to 1.
That's probably going to be Bell's first game, and if you remember his first game last year, it was awful. His first couple games are brutal. It took him a little bit to get into a groove.
I don't think Cleveland's any good. I'm not buying the hype. I'm just not.
I'm only buying 6 wins.
I think, yeah, but
what's it, 6.5? Is that their wide now? Their win?
I believe it's 6.5.
Because it started at 5.5.
When it first came out, it got bet up.
And I would jump all over that 5.5 and 6.5.
I see. I wouldn't even want to jump over the. Yeah, it's actually 5.5 right now.
But I just think
to bet the over, you got to pay juice. So you got to pay minus 140.
I just think that there's winnable games in that division. I think that they could beat Cincy and Baltimore.
Potentially, but let's say they're as good as Cincy. Are we convinced Cincy wins more than 5.5 games?
They're all the same.
Like, to win 6 games is a 5-win improvement from last year. It's a lot.
It
five
is.
5 extra wins is a lot.
It is. They should have won 3 or 4. Kaiser.
Yeah, but they don't because they have bad coaching.
Had brutal coaching.
Bad coaching. They had a bad. I mean, granted, they had a bad quarterback. That has been improved. The coaching hasn't improved.
Yeah, I know.
In fact, they think they're doing well. So
There's
it might
one
actually
play
be
that
getting
stands
worse.
out to me when they were going to win the game at the end, near the end with the red zone opportunity, and Duke Johnson and Kaiser both threw their helmets in frustration.
So Houston and the Pats, probably the best game, or it's the Niners and Vikings. Niners getting a lot of buzz, but the Vikings are 5.5-point favorites at home. People like the Niners. Jimmy G, unstoppable.
Yeah.
Dayton porn stars, doesn't matter.
Do what he wants.
They got Kyle Shanahan. They're going
Yeah.
to be unstoppable.
He's better than Brady, apparently. I always thought.
I feel like Minnesota might just wax
They're going to
them.
crush him.
San Francisco feels like a week 2 team to be on, but week 1, like they're gonna get buzz, like, oh, maybe Minnesota's overrated, maybe Kirk Cousins doesn't fit in, maybe Jimmy Garoppolo's way better,
New offensive coordinator, and
then I can just come in and wax them.
Yeah.
They're not coming in; they're at home.
Yeah, no, I like Minnesota a lot. I mean, their defense is phenomenal. We know that. Not much has changed. In fact, I think they may have even improved defensively.
And I think the offense gets better.
And the offense gets better.
Dalvin Cook's back.
Dalvin Cook is back.
I'm not convinced Kirk Cousins is that big of an upgrade from the way that Case Keenum played last year.
Me neither.
Talent-wise, he might be a lot better.
Yeah.
I don't think that he's a $20 million difference.
No,
maker.
me either. And I think, for people who play super flex leagues, I think Case Keenum is a perfect quarterback, too, for value that you can just get near the end.
DraftKings week 1 against Seattle, $5,100 at home. Let's do it.
And the Seattle defense sucks. Awful.
Well, Earl Thomas might even set out now.
He's going to, yeah. If you
They have
follow
no
him on
one-
Instagram, social
they
media,
have
he's
no-
gone
they have
already.
no one left.
Yeah, they have nobody. So absolutely. I think I already had a question. I just wrote about handcuffs. Now I'm not crazy about handcuffs, but if you're going to have draft Cook, I mean, Latavius Murray was actually pretty good in the offense last year. 8 touchdowns his final 10 games. He was there. He's like a 14th round pick.
I don't think that he's
just
necessarily
put him in
going to be uninvolved in this offense.
And especially to start the season,
Yeah,
don't you
just-
think?
Just use him a little bit.
Absolutely.
I think
And
Cook's still the guy.
Cook is still the guy, and he's phenomenal. But to start the season, and when you're looking at a home favorite, somebody asked me, is Latavius worth a DK look in a tournament at 4-4? I'm like, no.
Like Royce Freeman's 4,300 at
Right.
that same price, and he just might be the starter in Denver.
Right.
And that's a great price.
But I do think he'll be sprinkled in early to start. Like I said, he was fine. He was good in the offense. He took over from Jerick McKinnon, who got the early down carries, and it was Latavius. But this is a great team. It's an awesome football team, and I'm not sold on Jimmy yet. He was great against.
I think that he's going to be good.
He's going to be fine, but should he be quarterback 6, 7 taken off the board in fantasy? I'm not spending that on Garoppolo, who's got 5 NFL games. Yeah, all undefeated, but he didn't play anyone good. He played Jacksonville once.
He did tear up Jacksonville.
He did, but he also threw a ton of picks in games that he played, and he doesn't have a whole lot of weapons there.
How dare you?
I love
besmirch
Pierre Garçon. I love Garçon. He's actually going to be on a lot of my teams.
He has
And-
George Kittle, who's
and-
apparently
and
the best
Kittle
tight
we
end in
just
football.
talked about, and Trent Taylor everybody loves. And
Oh, I forgot about Trent Taylor.
he was actually okay
He's
towards.
still got Marquise Goodwin.
Marquise Goodwin is everyone loves Goodwin too. But no, Minnesota's a better football team right now. San Fran's on the up and up. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
They're
they
one
could
of the
win,
most improved teams.
They could win 10 games this year.
Yeah.
It's just I don't think they're in the class of Minnesota.
They'll
And
be
we're
better
seeing-
than Seattle this year.
We're seeing it in the spread though, 5.5.
Yeah, I'm a mini.
I can see people bandwagoning on the Niners being like trendy pick week 1.
Yeah.
And then they'll lose by like 30, and then week 2 will be like San Francisco sucks. Then you bet on the Niners.
They'll be 2.5-point favorites at home against Seattle next week.
Yeah.
Just the week 2 or something. Yeah.
Tampa, New Orleans, second highest total of the week. I think outside of at least on the main Sunday slate.
Yeah.
I think Packers and Bears might be higher, or Rams and Raiders is pretty high as well.
Okay.
Is Tampa just bad? 9.5-point favorites. The Saints week 1.
Wow.
Tampa's bad, man.
They are bad. They've improved their line a little bit, but yeah, they're bad. I mean,
Fitzmagic starting.
Fitzmagic is starting. What's going to happen with their run game?
I guess the question is the Saints defense real?
Yeah.
Did they overachieve last year?
No.
And if they aren't, or did the Saints just go back to being in shootouts all the time?
No, I think that they're good. I think they drafted well over the past couple of years. That they've gotten some nice pieces.
Like Lattimore's legit. It's not a flash in the pan.
No, he's 100% legit. Yeah,
Cam
absolutely.
Jordan is one of the best pass rushers in football.
Yeah, he's an IDP stud for those who play in those leagues. Yeah, both of those guys are phenomenal. Breeze took a little bit of a step back, but that's because they ran the ball significantly well. Yeah, you look at his red zone numbers, it's like, wow, he threw the ball 50 less times in the red zone.
I don't think that he took a step back fantasy-wise in terms of like real life play. He actually played quite well.
No, he did. I mean, the completion percentage, everything is still off the charts, but it wasn't those plenty of 300-yard games and 3 passing touchdowns because he didn't need to. The defense was good and they ran the ball. Yeah, so, but he probably throws a little bit more in the first few weeks. Liz Kamara's not going to be a guy who has 20 carries. But Cam Meredith, I think, is actually good.
I think Ben Watson's going to be sneaky.
Ben Watson, you go look at his career. His best season is in 2015 with Drew Brees. He was the favorite red zone target of Brees. He was in top 10 in red zone targets. He had all those touchdowns.
Smartest man in football.
Yeah, he was good. Again, I mean, they have some guys who can play. Yeah.
They have a bit of everything, and when I look at Tampa's offense, they seem like they have a bunch of the same guy.
And guys who, Deshaun Jackson was not good last season, had some injury issues. I want to believe in Chris Godwin as a sleeper, but Humphreys is hanging around. Who knows what the quarterback play?
You got Evans. Then you got Brayton OJ Howard there.
The 2 tight ends, yeah. I mean, I think they both had 6 touchdowns, and OJ Howard had 6 touchdowns.
Remember OJ Howard's touchdown against the Bills? And everyone's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
He was just wide open.
Wide open, yeah. So
classic Bills.
I think Tampa's made some improvements. I mean, they signed some big guys and Curry from the Eagles and somebody else off the top of my head, but they still have a lot of issues, and I don't know about their run game. I mean,
you're not buying
Martin. Got to be better than Martin.
You're not buying Ronald Jones II.
I mean, I'm buying his opportunity and the fact he should be better than Peyton Barber.
There's the key word: should be better than Peyton Barber. There's no guarantee Jones starts the season as their starting running back.
There's not. There isn't. He should, but
I like Peyton Barber.
Yeah, I mean, like Sins and Jaquiz out of the backfield catching balls.
They still have Jaquiz? They haven't let him go yet?
I'm pretty sure they haven't. I know they re-upped on Sims. I know he's around.
So he's going to be catching balls out of the backfield.
Yeah.
There's the ceiling limited for either Barber or Jones just off the hop.
So right off the get-go,
and Jameis and Fitz both like to run it in.
They do. Absolutely they do. Yeah, Jameis has been known to do that. So Tampa's a mess. You're right.
Tennessee at Miami.
Ooh.
I remember this game from last year. I think Charlie Whitehurst was starting for the Titans. I think they won the game. It was like Cutler versus Whitehurst.
I think you're right. Oh. Yeah. Have you watched that Cutler?
I actually, if people go back to Friday's show, Adam Rank and I talked about Barry Cavallari and how great Jay Cutler is on that show. He's amazing.
I've seen some clips and I've loved everything I've seen. Yeah. I'm gonna have to go back and watch you guys.
We talked about the challenge for like 45 minutes.
And then watch. That's fine. I like Rank. Big Angels guy. League of Leagues.
He's out now. The Miz took his spot in the league.
He took a spot?
Yeah, Rank and Co. bowed out of League of Leagues.
I didn't know it was Rank
and the Miz took their spot, but Miz is in last place in baseball. We're crushing him, and he won't make a trade.
100 points. Now he won't respond to any moves.
Stupid Miz won't make a trade with us.
Come on, Miz.
Yeah.
Come on,
if you're out there, tweet at the Miz. Tell him to make a trade with Meaney and I, so we can get better hitters for baseball at least.
Yes. So we can push for first.
I was looking at our football team. It's not bad.
It's not bad.
It actually turned out a whole lot better than I think that we thought. That's why you punt football on these things.
Yeah, I mean, we got Hopkins. Great. Yep. Awesome.
That's the one guy that we spent on was Hopkins.
D2's our wide receiver 2.
Yeah, D2.
Or D2. I call him D2.
D2? Mighty Ducks?
Yeah, D2. It's Demarius.
Who do we have as our quarterback?
We have Tyrod Taylor.
All right, we might need to improve at quarterback.
We do. We have Cooper Kupp as our third wideout. We got Fournette and Gordon. I mentioned Godwin. We have Godwin, and he's our wide receiver 5. We have Lee, wide receiver 4. We have, we might need to.
Who's our tight end?
Our tight end is George Kittle. Because I was on him. We did this draft.
That's true. We did the draft.
You know, I liked him. I took him like late, super late. He was probably tight end 20.
People don't understand like the League of Leagues concept. What we do is towards the end of the basketball season for the following year, we draft baseball, basketball, and football all in one draft.
Yeah, all in one. Yeah. Our football team's great. I think it's awesome.
I don't know if our football team is great.
Compared to others, like last year we had nothing, Pat. We had Julio, and then we didn't have any like wide receiver 2s or 3s. Parker was our 2. He killed us all year.
But we picked up Robert Woods, and he was fine.
He was fine, but at that time, we were already out of it. So we didn't really had Pryor. We were starting Pryor at like all year.
We did that Pryor.
So we had nothing from. We had Jameis Winston, who right off the get go, the first game, week 1, was suspended. Postponed, and then he had issues, shoulder issues. So we were just hurting altogether.
We took Fournette in the rookie draft.
I think Chargers are a D, which is fine.
Good for week 1. Well, that's the next game. I mean, actually, sorry, I didn't even say the spread in the Titans game.
Yeah, give me that one.
That is Dolphins 2-point underdogs against the Titans at home.
I like Tennessee. I think they're improved.
Everyone kind of likes Tennessee,
yeah,
though.
I know everyone.
How improved is their defense? They can attack the quarterback, but if Tannehill's back, their offense should theoretically be better.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen him in a long time.
As Jeff would call him, the wide receiver playing quarterback.
we haven't. I mean, he had the knee injury. They told him not to get surgery. He comes back. He gets surgery on that knee. What are we looking at here for weapons? His safety valve is gone, and Jarvis Landry.
Yeah, but now they have two safety valves. They have Amendola and Albert Wilson.
Yeah, put them both in the slot. Gesicki is a nice tight end who's going to rack up some yards in the middle of the field too. But how that chemistry is going to be. I like Tennessee. I think they're improved. I like their defense. I actually think it's a little bit underrated. I think they got some decent cornerback play, some guys who can get off football, like you said. And we've got to expect a lot more from Corey Davis this year. You love Walker. Walker's fine. Matthews is fine.
I think Walker is steady. I think he's a good player.
Sure.
I think that.
But we're talking about more weapons, more steadiness,
and just
on both sides of the football.
Potential improvement from Mariota too.
Yeah, and Deion Lewis is going to help that offense.
That's a wonky line to me though. +2 home dogs, week 1. Week 1's the time to play like massive underdogs. We don't know how.
Yeah.
We'll get a sense. Week 1 and week 2 are the best two gambling weeks for like unexpected
things are going to happen in home underdogs.
Yeah,
I get that. Yeah.
Super like outrageous things can happen week 1 though, because teams that we think are good just might not be good at all.
Right.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
And then we'll get a better sense by like week 4.
I think they're fine. Tennessee went in and won a playoff game on the road, fired their head coach because they're
smart, because Mike
what
Mularkey
they're
is a
showing.
terrible coach.
Yeah, awful.
But they did win a road playoff game because Mariota. Was it a home playoff game? Road playoff
No, it was in
game.
KC.
It was in KC, yeah.
He threw a touchdown
to himself.
Yeah.
Probably not going to happen all that often.
He's special.
Double points. Great DraftKings play that week.
Absolutely.
KC and the Chargers.
Yeah, this is a good one. I love the Chargers. I hate that.
Everyone
Henry
likes the
went
Chargers,
down. I think Henry going down is a huge blow to that team. I know it's one player, but he's good.
I think this team wins on defense. If they're gonna win.
Their defense is phenomenal. We got them in legal leagues. We're good to go.
You know whose defense is not good?
KC.
The Chiefs.
Yeah, the Chiefs are, and they're dealing with a rookie quarterback right off the hop. Week 1,
do you
here's
think,
the Chargers.
Do you think Mahomes will be
luck.
good?
I think he's going to be a good quarterback, but I don't think he's going to be a QB1 in fantasy this year, if that's what we're talking about. I don't think he's going to be...
I think that's well in his range of outcomes, though, for the weapons and skill set.
The weapons are there,
and
and he can move around, and he's gotten some hype from players in the league. He played the Broncos last year, and
in Week 17?
Yeah,
when
Week
Demetrius
17.
Harris was just like piling up seam routes.
And Chris Harris Jr. was like, man, that guy can play. Holy crap! Like he's awesome. So it's going to take some time.
I just think the attacking defense that the Chargers can present to him week 1 is just, and maybe I can't even remember at this point. I was watching it like at this casino in Detroit, or actually across in Windsor. It was where I watched week 17 because I went to the Lions game, then came back for the late games, and like I can't even recall if Denver was actually playing its studs on defense. Like, was Von Miller out there really trying to get after him?
It was like, it was the final game of the year and they weren't. No.
Yeah, it was week 17 they were out of it.
And you got to think the Chargers and other teams' game plans are going to be, we're going to stack the box. We're going to go out. You're probably going to give the ball to Hine. I know you have somebody off the top and you can kill us with Hill and Sammy, but prove it.
And they have a pair of the best corners in the league. They have a pair of the best pass rushers in the league.
Yeah, they're really good.
And if Perriman's actually healthy, he does solidify their run game. Like, he's a very solid middle linebacker. Yeah. So I think it's a tough spot for a rookie, but I'm curious to see where the spread numbers come in, because it's -3 right now for the Chargers. I believe that Tim has already guaranteed that the Chiefs would win week 1.
Oh, well,
but he may have been just saying that to piss off Feinberg.
Yeah. Wow.
But I can see people, like, almost like how I think that people might pile on to the Niners as like a trendy spread play. I can see people be like, lock of the week, Chargers roll the Chiefs. And they could be right, but I never love to hear that this far in advance.
No, you don't want to. There's some other games that I would lock in more. I mean, I honestly like Minnesota at home, but I'm in on the Chargers beating the Chiefs here.
Oh.
Yeah, I like them to win that division.
Dallas at Panthers. Panthers 2.5-point favorites at home. Doesn't that seem short?
It does.
Like, why do people think Dallas is going to be any good?
America's team, man. America's team.
They're always
Zeke's back. Who cares about Dez?
So if people are new to gambling and how spreads work, Packers, Patriots, and Cowboys, and whoever like the trendy team of the year is, but those 3 teams, every single year, Pittsburgh to a lesser extent as well, are always overvalued by the spread. Like, even if it's by a half point.
Yeah, always.
Just because people want to go to the window and bet on. They have the most fans of any team, so people bet them because people like to stupidly just bet their favorite teams.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you just answered your own question.
I remember this spot on Thanksgiving 2 years ago. The biggest bet that I laid down that year was on Carolina to beat Dallas. Maybe it was 3 years ago. Whatever year Carolina went to the Super Bowl. And it was at Pick'em.
Yeah.
And Carolina was a substantially better team, and they absolutely waxed them on Thanksgiving. I'm not sold that the Panthers are going to be like great this season, but unless Zeke just goes mental,
which is going to have to.
What else are they doing here?
Yeah, I mean,
Alan Hearns?
Oh man,
Michael Gallup?
I traded Dak in a dynasty league for Trubisky. And I'm actually happy about it because at least he's got guys to. We'll talk about Chicago in a bit. He has guys to throw to. Dak has no one to throw to. That's going to be their game plan. Offensive line's so fine. They're going to run the football with Zeke.
It's gotten so bad in Dallas, and maybe the defense is better than I think, and maybe that can help carry them a little bit.
Still not going to be that great.
But coach speak, at least. We're going to get Tavon Austin 15 touches a game. That's the move you be want. That inspires confidence.
Guy got like $1 million a catch last year. One of the best offenses in football. They couldn't even find spots for him just for like, okay, we're up by 30. Here's Tavon. Let's give him the ball. They couldn't even do that with him last year. So, no, I'm with you. I'm not sure I'm sold on Carolina either.
But if everyone's healthy week one, like Kuechly's healthy, Cam is healthy, then just they're good when they're all healthy.
Yeah, they bring in Anderson, who whatever. It's still an upgrade over Jonathan Stewart.
Yeah, and he's a better runner than McCaffrey is.
Yeah, and he's a better runner, and they're saying you could give McCaffrey 25,
30 touches a game. Yeah, sure.
Fall apart.
But we just drafted DJ Moore in the first round.
Yeah,
DJ
Moore's I think will be their best wideout at the end of the year. Funch is kind of when Greg Olsen came.
I like Funches.
Funches is fine. I like him too. Funches and touchdowns and bunches for Funches. I like all that.
And listen, even when
Olsen came, everything kind of declined for him.
But Olsen was bad last year too.
He was
being injured. Then he had the foot injury. He never became Greg Olsen again. Maybe he's checked out because there was talk about him being on Monday Night Football. But if he's at 100% week one, he's still one of the best six best tight ends in football.
They got veteran guys, and they brought in Torrey Smith, whatever.
2.5 seems short, is what I'm saying.
Absolutely, I agree with you there.
And I don't know if the Panthers make the playoffs, if they win 10 games. I don't know about that.
They're a better team than Dallas.
But week one, I think they're a lot better than Dallas. We'll see. Seattle, 2.5-point dogs in Denver.
Oh. I'm going to go.
I think Denver's good at home, too, especially early in the year, dealing with that elevation.
Yeah.
I have Russell Wilson ranked as my number one fantasy quarterback.
Do you?
I do. I just think their defense
But you wouldn't take him, though, I won't, ever. Would you? Would you take him like a second round?
No, God, no.
But if he fell to like the fifth, you take him?
I would take him probably because he's actually going in like the 6th round.
Yeah.
Like people are just taking Rodgers and Brady, and people are all jazzed up about
Watson.
Yeah, people are. I'm jazzed up about Watson too, but
and
like
Wentz and Cam.
He's going too high. Wentz isn't going that highly.
But consensus like top 6 probably with Wentz.
Yeah, Russell Wilson's like number 3, number 4, but people are like Cam is going like way later. People just hate Cam Newton.
Yeah, I get it, but he's top 5 quarterback fantasy.
Yeah. And with Wilson, like you put him into a position, they're like, oh, Brian Schottenheimer, he's going to run the ball. They drafted Penny in the first round. They're going to run the ball. They can't run the ball.
I know they've brought in all these running backs all the years now. These running backs that they've brought in, like that the Rawls,
well, you know what?
Lacey,
Alex Collins was pretty good.
Alex Collins was good.
Well, let's cut him.
Yeah, and Carson ran well. So I mean, I think that they're going to run with him and Penny.
I think they're going to try to run, but if their defense isn't any good, they're going to fall behind in
the
these games.
The defense is, it's not good. I like Denver in this game, but it's not good. The weapons, I mean, they're lacking weapons. They really are. I mean,
I have Baldwin as my number 7.
Yeah, it makes sense. That guy's going to get a ton of targets. They're going to be down in games.
Yeah,
they use him all over the field. Like even if he faces top coverage, they can use him in the slot. They can move him around, so he's going to get his.
And Russell Wilson's big thing too. It's hard to cover a lot of the Seattle receivers because the offensive line is so bad.
And he's
in Seattle. He's so elusive that he just extends plays.
Yeah.
And once you start doing that, like coverage is eventually going to break down. And then there's Doug Baldwin standing 40 yards down the field, no one's around him.
There was a point in the season, like towards the end, where he had like 90% of their touchdowns. Like they got nothing, absolutely nothing from the run game on the ground.
I don't think that's really going to improve.
No,
unless Penny's just a stud.
I think he's good, but you're in a situation where, I mean, you're going to face some stacked boxes and you don't have a great line.
Yeah.
Give me Denver though.
Yeah, Denver as not even a field goal favorite at home. Better defense, and like let's not underrate how much of an improvement Case Keenum is a quarterback in Denver over Trevi Simeon.
Huge. It's huge. That defense. There was a point I think in week 13-14, when I was doing some stuff with the footballers for DFS Pod, when I was looking at just the touchdowns that they allowed, the yardage that they allowed through the air and on the ground was actually good, elite. It was like top 5, top 10. It's like, why is this team so bad? Because they turn the ball over every time they get the ball.
Because they're starting Brock Osweiler quarterback.
Every time they're turning it over in the red zone, turning over their own 35. They can do absolutely nothing. So.
And Sanders was banged up last year, too. Now he returns healthy. They have competent quarterback play. They draft Freeman. They still have Devonta Booker.
They Sutton, who's an okay third. Yeah, they'll be okay. They'll compete.
Yeah, I think what are their odds to win that division? Because everyone's so jazzed on the Chargers.
Yeah.
You know the Chiefs are just going to have good odds because they were good last year. Yeah. I'm very curious to see this. Let's see. To win division, what's Denver? Denver is the Raiders are the second favorite in that division. What are
because of Gruden? Like, is that just a Gruden effect? Like,
I will bet under on any Gruden sort of numbers. Yeah. Denver. It's funny because Baltimore's 4.5 to 1 to win the North. The Broncos are the lowest team in the West, and they're plus 320, so 3.2 to 1.
Wow.
Those aren't terrible odds.
No, they're not.
I would guess the Chargers or Chiefs win, but I don't see the Raiders.
No, I don't either. They could compete with the Chiefs.
What are the win totals here?
To battle it out at least.
Regular season wins, perhaps. Denver is 7.5. I feel like they're a better than 500 team.
I think they're better than Oakland.
What's Oakland?
They must be like 8.5.
Oakland, 8.5.
Wow. Yeah.
Where's it? Yeah, to bet the under is juiced up because people are betting the under.
I mean, what are we all on Cooper again this year? And Jordy sucked without Rodgers.
Jordy is washed. I hate to tell you.
And Martavis Bryant is.
You also know who's probably a terrible coach? John Gruden.
Yeah, because the
last time we saw him, he was a terrible coach, and it's been 10 years.
He's going back to his old ways too.
Yeah, but the one thing that I do like about having Gruden there is no one wants to draft Marshawn Lynch. Marshawn Lynch is going to be good in fantasy. He's going to get like 30 carries a game.
And he, I was down on him last year, but he had a strong second half. He was fine.
He just wasn't used in the first half.
Yeah, he wasn't used in the first half. And I think a report came out like yesterday about how Doug Martin
sucks.
I know he sucks, but he's going to use him. I forget the wordage, but like more than a second running back should
sparingly because we're going to cut him because he's no good.
I mean, this guy had every opportunity for carries.
Cutting Jalen Richard and keeping Doug Martin.
Yeah.
Smart football.
Yeah. I mean, Martin had every opportunity the guy had 20 plus carries.
It came out that Gruden hasn't even talked to Khalil Mack yet. they haven't
talked to your best player.
Yeah.
Perfect. Great.
I can't wait to pick on it. I really hope Oakland's not good. That would just be...
I don't think
I'm not going to make because we'll do the win total show, and I'm just kind of looking at them now, but like that one seems outrageous.
Yeah. That's one I would pick the under.
5-win team? Because they're in a good division.
They're in a great division, and they're going to play some other tough opponents.
I don't think that they go 0-6 in the division, because that's far-fetched, and maybe I'm just wrong on Oakland. Maybe they're going to be a lot better. But they could go 0-6.
Yeah. They could. I see them winning 2 games in their division. 2. They get to split with both KC and Denver.
Why would they split with KC, though? KC's better.
I'm just giving them the benefit of the doubt that they win 2 games.
I guess so. So I like Denver in that spot, too. Washington at the Cardinals. We don't even know who's going to be. I guess Sam Bradford's starting?
Yeah. Week 1. Sure. Unless he does something to his knee in the preseason. It's possible.
Unless he falls down the stairs or something.
He got hurt preseason before and Wentz took over.
In Washington, so you got Alex Smith. Jordan Reed will be healthy.
Yeah.
Washington's favored. Actually, no, sorry. Arizona's a 1-point home favorite. So that's basically, if they're saying on a neutral site, Washington would be the favorite here. I just don't know how good either of these teams are.
No, I don't think
it wouldn't surprise me if Washington or Arizona was good.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think who I like more. Maybe Arizona because they're talking about best player. Best player on the field is
David Johnson. Yeah. Or Fitz.
And this is going to be a team that runs the football. Whether they want to lock up David Johnson next year or not, he is a free agent.
They have a bad offensive line, though.
They do, but they're still going to use him. It's going to be dump offs. Bradford's going to use him. It's rookie quarterback. It doesn't matter. They're still going to use him. Fitz is in the slot. I'll give the edge to Arizona here as the better team, but it's close. They're both very similar. Washington's interesting. Is Jordan Reed healthy? Week 1, Crowder.
And let's say the Giants are just bad again. Let's say Dallas is bad, and let's say Philly regresses a little bit. Washington just seems like they're going to be super solid, but not good in any one thing. Yeah, they get some help, they get some breaks.
They had a lot of injuries last year. I think there was over 20 different people on that offensive line.
Yeah, the combinations they never had the same one.
They never had. Alex Smith is fine.
He's capable. He's like Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah,
he's just fine.
Yeah, Maybe slightly better.
He's better than Tyrod, but like that's the type
But
of
you're
like
right, yeah.
he's a floor quarterback who had a career year last year in a good system.
Yeah.
Now he's like if he's not going to hit those totals again in Washington, but
What do you make of those wide receivers? Like, are you Crowder's like one of those guys who goes in the 7th, 8th, 9th? Like, he's right there with Cobb.
Crowder for PPR, I think is fine. I'd rather have
Garcon.
Cobb. I think I'd rather have Cobb.
Yeah.
I just bank on the upside of that offense. But like Jordan Reed's going in like the 10th round.
Oh, I know. And at that point, it's worth it. It was never worth it the first 5 rounds.
Wait until he gets another concussion and the Texans sign him.
Oh, wow.
Where you can go get some
I
more
think if he
concussions.
gets one more concussion, he has to be done. This guy's had like 7 concussions.
If I'm still drafting best ball, I'm drafting Vernon Davis.
Yeah, it's Alex Smith.
I made a bet
They have a
with
great
Cust.
connection from their San Fran days. man.
Cust was talking up Jordan Leggett on the Jets, who's apparently one of their 6 tight ends who they drafted.
Why is he talking him up?
Because he's on the Jets.
Sure. Yeah.
But I bet him at 5-1 in my favor that the best Vernon Davis game this season in PPR scoring will outscore Leggett's entire season.
That's awesome. I like that.
I really hope.
That's great.
If I can win one bet with Cust this
Yeah.
year, I hope it's that.
It was a long time ago, but 2014, and Vernon Davis has regressed a little bit, but he was fine last year. That was a good year for Alex Smith and Vernon Davis. Like, that's when they beat the Saints in the playoffs.
Yeah, but that, on the bootleg, the Alex Smith bootleg.
Yeah.
But like, even when Jordan Reed goes out, Vernon Davis is good.
Yeah, he is. And
that's what basically the bet is, that Jordan Reed.
We don't know about Richardson. Doxson doesn't have a 100-yard game ever and a game over 4 catches. I want to believe him just like everybody else.
Chris Thompson back should help the offense.
Absolutely.
Like that was a big part of
and
their
Geis
offense
is
last
good.
year.
I think Geis is good. So.
I mean, he hurdles people in Instagram videos. How couldn't he be good?
Yeah, absolutely. You can do that all the time in football.
Green Bay and Chicago is the Sunday nighter. Green Bay is an 8-point favorite. Aaron Rodgers, healthy. Bring in Jimmy Graham. Devontae Adams now the number 1. You get rid of that wasteland that was Jordy Nelson. You elevate Randall Cobb a little bit. Aaron Jones is suspended.
Yeah.
I feel like there might be a bit too much buzz around how sleepery the Bears are.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just not good. Their defense is good, which helps.
I'm part of pushing that because of everything that's happened. They bring in new coach, bring in new
People want
weapons.
Chicago to be good.
Right.
But this is probably the toughest division.
It is.
The Lions are good.
Yes, the Lions are good. The
Green Bay
Vikings
we know
are
is
awesome.
good,
Green
and
Bay-
the Vikings
they're
might be the
still
best team in
They're
football.
still going to come forth, but obviously it's improvement. It reminds me a little bit of just the situation with Goff and the Rams. They're bringing in a new coach and new weapons. Same thing in Philly.
But if that hadn't have happened last year, where Goff goes from being abysmal to being good, are people saying this about Trubisky now?
No, but they could say it. They could give the comparisons a little bit to Wentz. Wentz's first year, there was nobody in that offense. Everyone was dropping
but Wentz
balls.
was good.
He was
first
good.
year.
He was good, but Trubisky showed some signs too. You got to remember who he was throwing the ball to.
No one, and he threw the ball like 8 times a game.
Bellamy, Cunningham had one game where he led the Bears in catches.
I think we played Josh Bellamy on our
You know what I mean?
team.
Like, there was absolutely nobody. So then you bring in Allen Robinson, you bring in Trey Burton, you bring in Taylor Gabriel, you sign somebody in Anthony Miller, you have 2 running backs, a good offensive line, a good coach who comes from KC.
I get it.
Quick throws. I'm not saying that they're going to be phenomenal. I still like them last in this division.
Do you think they can cover an 8
I
in
think
Green
that they
Bay
can
week
cover
1?
an 8 in Green Bay in week 1. I do.
This could just be Aaron Rodgers saying, fuck you. I'm back and I'm going to score all the points.
And it should be. That's the way he rolls, right? But there's been games where, he's went into Green Bay before against Cutler and not covered those 10-point spreads, those 8 or 9s.
Do we think Trubisky's better than Cutler was? I don't.
It depends, man. This offense could be a little... Peterson comes from KC. It's a similar, Nagy comes from KC. It's just... It's a 100% big upgrade. He was 7th among quarterbacks in rushing yards per game. He's a little sneaky on the ground. I just think they'll use the offense like they did. Now, McVay is a G. He's a stud. And maybe Peterson is too. I mean, he's got some cajones, what he did in the Super Bowl. But they got the ball out quick, right? A lot of RPOs, 2 running backs. It's quick. The line is one of the best in football.
6.5 wins is the win total.
It's tough because of the division. I need to see the rest of who they're playing, the schedule. But bring it up. There's some winnable games there. You got to play Green Bay twice. You got to play Minnesota twice. You got to play Detroit twice. That's really tough.
Let's say
I think
you
they're
split,
like a 6-win
let's say you
team.
split with Detroit, and you go 1-5 in the division. It's tough to get 7
It is
wins
tough.
that way,
It
right?
is tough. I think they're like a 6-win team, but I think Trubisky is he's my guy that I want in quarterback too. So I think he's the breakout quarterback this year.
I just don't see it. I get the reasons for it. I just don't know if I believe it.
Yeah.
So the Bears, I guess that's preseason. Who do they play week 1? They play, who did I say? The Packers?
We've got the Packers.
So you got the Packers, then the Seahawks. A winnable
There's
game.
a winnable game.
I'll
just say winnable games.
Winnable game.
1.
Cardinals, winnable game.
2.
Bucks, winnable game. Dolphins, winnable game.
Yeah.
Patriots, probably not so winnable.
No.
We'll see, though. Jets, It's a winnable game.
There's 5.
Bills, winnable game.
There's 6. We're playing that division. That's nice.
And then you go Lions, Vikings, Lions, Giants, potential winnable games. But we're calling these winnable games. Let's say they're even coin flips.
Yeah. So there's 7 winnable games. So that's tough to take the over.
And then you get the Rams, Packers, and Niners to end the year.
So that's tough. That number it's fair, right?
I do think it's a fair number. I think I would take it's plus what it's you get to bet $100 you get 105 back if it's under 6.5.
So
I think
that's probably
that's
the, way
the
to
side
go.
I would lean on.
Yep, 6.5. It was 5.5. I know it's just one number difference, but that's a big difference.
It is
5.
A big difference.
You know, you're talking about a 7-win team or a 6-win team, and you're talking about that division. But I think that there's just at least been some major improvements in this offense.
It might be too quick.
Yeah.
Maybe not everything works like the Rams, where all of a sudden you're just way better.
Yeah,
maybe it takes a few years.
And it probably won't work like the Rams. You got to remember the Eagles too. Like who was Wentz thrown to last 2 years ago?
Aguilar, who just got
Aguilar, who could not line up properly.
Ertz, who was hurt.
Ertz, who was hurt, and Jordan Matthews, who couldn't catch a football
and was always hurt.
So he had absolutely nothing. All of a sudden, you bring in somebody who played his strengths. It's a positive offseason for Chicago. I'll say that.
It's funny. I know I just hyped up the Lions as being pretty good, and I know I don't like the Jets at all. But the Jets are the first Monday night game. The Jets are in Detroit. Detroit's a 7-point favorite.
7.
That's a big number for Detroit.
It is a big number.
And Detroit loves playing like grimy close games.
They do. They love disappointing.
I feel like I might be on the Jet. I don't like that
You're
at all.
already.
I don't like that at all.
I understand though. It's a lot of points. We already talked about the Jets. You know, better wide receiver group than the Bills. They got some guys who can throw.
It's probably going to be McCown week 1, I'm guessing.
And McCown was
good last year. Until he got hurt, he was good.
He was fine. And there were points of the season where Robbie Anderson and Jermaine Kearse were top 30 wide receivers in fantasy because
Robbie
of McCown.
was good, man.
Yeah, he was great.
Is he going to get suspended? I haven't heard much about that since.
It's kind of went under the radar. I mean, he could get a game or two. You'd think you'd start hearing about it soon.
Yeah.
It comes out of nowhere.
So you could just appeal it.
Yeah. But, I mean, Quincy Enunwa was good when he played a couple years ago. They got 2 backs who can run the football, so they can stay in that football game. I do like Detroit. What they've done, you know, they draft a back, they bring in Blunt. Where they struggled last season was in the red zone. They couldn't run the ball in the red zone.
Do you know who's going to be the highest scoring fantasy running back that they have? Theo Riddick.
Because
he always
is. And Stafford has been top 10 in yards and completion for 5 straight
years.
He is.
I hate owning Stafford.
I know. He's 3rd most passing yards last year.
I know.
It's now maybe that'll go down a little bit because of the run game. But
Marvin or Golden Tate? I like Marv.
PPR, I'll give the edge to Tate.
I'm still giving it to Marv.
I wanted to actually bring this up. I'm with you on Marv. I don't understand why he's going like wide receiver 35-40. He was a top 10 wideout last year. Had over 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns. Maybe the touchdowns come down a little bit, but why?
People are scared of Galladay, that he's just going to come in and take his role.
Come on, no.
I'm
Jones
with you.
is good.
I'm with you.
Yeah, so many just, he can only run one route.
Which is not true.
Like, no. He's got hands. He was phenomenal at times last year catching the football in tough throws.
I think people just remember 2 years ago when he had the hot start, then he just did nothing for 10 weeks, and then he started slow last year. I think people forget what he did.
Yeah.
It's not even just like a second half. It was like the
Go back to 1 year with the Bengals. I think he flirted with double-digit touchdowns.
He had 10 1 year, but he had 4 against the Jets in one game.
Sure, he still got double-digit touchdowns.
That's true.
I mean, he scored touchdowns. He's going to play the Jets week 1. No, but I like Marv. I think he's one of the, for a guy who likes to start running backs, he's one of the guys that I've went back and had Marv
that seems extreme.
And in a 15-team league, and I've had Marv as my wide receiver 2.
Who would be your wide receiver 1 in that case?
Alshon.
I
could have went.
I don't know if
I could have went Robinson. I could have went Tyreek Hill.
That is a very un-Pat Mayo start to a draft.
Yeah, I in a deep league like that,
I'd rather take the receivers. I think
backs.
there's too much volatility to load up on all those running backs.
I hate chasing backs, man. And
I like it though. Like I write the waiver wire column every week. I love picking up just losers.
Look at like Funches and Aguilar and both Jets guys were wide receiver 3s. Cooper Kupp, these guys were not taken in drafts near the end that you picked up.
But I mean, I think those are like the 5 receivers that you could have picked up last year at running back. There was guys every week that popped up. You just had to pick the right ones.
Not as RB1s, RB2s.
Yeah, but you don't need them to be RB1s.
I want them to be. I don't like to plug in a scrub and hope like Bilal Powell's my RB2. I
was playing Chris Thompson for a bit.
Yeah, that's fine. You pick him up waiver wire. You put him in as a flex
Theo Riddick
PPR.
for a week. You plug him in.
Yeah. I like
Tariq Cohen, pick him up.
I think you're just ahead of the game when you get a back who can touch the ball 20 times. You get as many as you can.
I agree, but like you're crippling yourself at receiver at some point.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always been fine.
Everyone's going all heavy running backs.
Wide receiver 2.
It's gonna
Marv as your wide receiver 2 is not bad.
I don't mind Marv as my wide receiver 2, but
Yeah.
if I had him as my flex wide receiver 4, it'd be even better.
Yeah.
Last game. Rams at Oakland.
Oh, baby.
The West Coast Monday night game.
What's the spread here?
What do you think the spread is for this game?
Where is it?
It's in Oakland.
It should be like they should be favored by 3.5 for sure.
Who?
The Rams.
The Rams? They're not.
Is it 2.5?
It's 3.
Just 3.
Just 3. You're getting the full field goal.
Log me in over there.
No hope.
Get me in on the Rams.
Get you on the Rams? Yeah, I just think the Rams.
I'm going to the Rams.
The Rams
100%.
are just hashtag bad. Or the Raiders.
The Raiders, yeah, for sure. The Rams are good. They're another team that improved.
Could they be the team that everyone thinks is good and sucks?
I mean, there could. There's always a team like that.
Yeah.
That everyone thinks.
But
is
everyone's
good and
so
sucks.
sold, and like they get sued. They're gonna play, and Donald may or may not hold out. I think he'll end up just playing what he said at week 1 last year.
Yeah,
He'll be fine.
I think they're gonna lock him up to.
I don't know if they'll lock him up, but I think he'll be
They
there
should.
week
I mean,
1.
to sign Cooks ahead of him.
I'm not big on Marcus Peters, but as a part of this defense,
Yeah,
I think
and
that
Talib, that gets a respect factor.
I think that they fit well when you have a good pass rush, when you're relying on these guys to be like shutdown corners.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much Talib has left in the tank, but like with Peters, he's not a shutdown corner.
Right, no.
He's a guy who's going to ball hawk, but he's with an offense that's good and a line that gets pressure, and you're not asking him to be your best corner, then it makes a lot more sense to have him on your team. Like their window is now, they're going to be good for 2 years, at least they're set up until they have to pay Goff.
Yeah.
I'm not positive Goff's all that good.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not that positive that he's good either. I don't think he's a QB1 in fantasy. I think that,
Fantasy wise, he's basically undrafted.
But again, it's coaching. It's just real good coaching. It's like, wow, Goff can't even call a play in a huddle when we saw him on Hard Knocks with Fisher, but this guy can go out and help his team average 31 points per game. It's the good coaching. It's getting the ball out quick.
It is the good coaching, but now that we have an entire offseason to adjust to Jared Goff, don't you think people might be a bit savvy to what they're up to?
Maybe a little bit, but you also have a great offensive line and a great back in Gurley, who led the team in catches. Not only what he did with 19 touchdowns total. He's phenomenal. He's awesome. You can't stack the box against him because you have so many weapons in Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods and Brandon Cooks.
I get all the reasons. But if Goff isn't good, like legit not good, and he was just masked by I wouldn't say a tricky offense, but one that was somewhat unique of calling 2 plays, walking up to the line and having that second play to go. That's smart, but teams know what's coming now.
Yes.
And we saw it in the playoffs. They shut down Gurley just a little bit, the Falcons did, and all of a sudden Jared Goff couldn't do fuck
You're
all.
right. You're right. And that's part of learning, and I think he progresses a little bit. I think he's the biggest question mark, we'll put it that way.
What is their over-under? I wouldn't be disinclined to bet the under on the Rams.
Yeah.
Just looking at it now, I thought it'd be 10.5. It's 9.5, which is fairer. But you're still getting plus money to bet the under. Right now, to bet the under on the Rams, you're getting plus 115 on under 9.5. And this isn't to say they won't beat Oakland week 1.
Right. So Oakland, you got Seattle twice, you got San Fran, maybe you split there. Arizona's 2 winnable. Like, they probably have a tough schedule, though.
Arizona 5.5 wins to bet the over minus 150. It seems like sharp people are on the Cardinals, and it seems like they've been undervalued by this betting books. But here's their out of division games. It looks like they play the AFC West.
Okay.
So they'll get Oakland, which they should win. The Chargers are a coin flip game there. And maybe the Rams are just good and they wax all these teams. But KC, Denver.
Those are
tough games.
Yeah, they're not shoo-ins. No.
And if they get the Broncos, they have to go to Denver.
Yeah, not an easy place to play.
And listen, it doesn't matter where you play the Chargers. It's always a road game for the Chargers. So who else do they get? They got the Packers at a division because they play the first place schedule. They get the Saints at a division.
That's tough.
They get the Lions, they get the Bears, they get the Vikings.
They get the Eagles, too.
They get the Eagles.
Wow. They have a tough schedule. They have a tough schedule.
9.5 wins is no guarantee
That's
here. And
not
if
a
Arizona
guarantee.
can split with them, or Seattle can split with them, they're not getting to 10 wins.
No, they're not. Yeah, I mean, wow. Philly, Minnesota, Green Bay, and
New Orleans. And the Chicago Bears, who are apparently going to go 16-0, according to you. So there's a loss.
So there's a loss. That's maybe the under is worth a look.
Now, maybe they go out, they beat Arizona twice, they beat Seattle twice, they beat the Niners twice, and there's 6 wins right there, and they glide to the over.
Sure. But, I mean, division games are never easy, man. They're not, especially...
Just ask the Seahawks when the Rams suck for all those years.
Exactly.
And split with them every year.
Exactly. Yeah, every year. And San Fran,
9-6.
They tied San Fran one year. They couldn't beat those 2 teams. So... That's not a cakewalk inside that division, and that's tough. I'd actually take a look at that under, but I like the Rams a lot. Again, I haven't looked at the schedule, but you're telling me that's
the schedule. Like
that's a tough schedule.
That's rough.
That's a tough schedule.
So yeah, if you go 3-3 in the division, or even 4-2, it gets a whole lot tougher.
Yeah, you're
maybe
looking
you
at
lose
like
in Denver.
a 9-7.
Maybe you get. I mean, people love the Chargers. You get knocked off by the Chargers. You're really behind the 8 ball right off the hop.
And you can win that division at 9-7. They could win that at 9-7. They don't need to. They're not probably going to be a 12-win team.
Well, like I said, Arizona was 8-8 last year, and their over-under's 5.5. Did they get worse? I don't feel like
they got DJ. DJ's to come back the whole year.
And like, how many games did Carson Palmer play last year? None.
Hardly played at all.
So they're upgrading. Whether it's going to be Rosen or Bradford, their quarterback situation's better than it was.
Yeah.
I can see why it's. Is that the most juiced up
lost
one?
the Honey Badger, but he wasn't. He couldn't take a step back over the past couple years.
The most juiced over-unders on the board in terms of like the vig that you would have to pay. The over 5.5 for Arizona, you have to pay $1.50. You have to pay $150 to win $100. The under on the Bills 6.5 is -160 because people are just all over that.
Yeah.
What else do we have? I think those are the two biggest ones. Over on the Texans 8.5. That's dicey.
It is. It's
all their best players are coming off injury.
It's completely risky.
What else? We have the Rams over -145. So people are betting the over on the 9.5.
Wow, man, that might jump up to 10.
Giants over 6.5 -150. Jets under 6.5 -160. People love the under on the Jets. 6.5 is a lot though. It seems like a big number.
Yeah.
What else is big here? Oh, the biggest one. Seattle under 8.5 -170.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
what are Seattle's odds to win this division?
That's got to. You got.
Not that I think they will. I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, you got to be jumping on that right away. I mean, you lose Sherman, you lose Chancellor. Earl Thomas is going to go.
Do they have the best player in the division?
No. Russell Wilson?
Yeah.
I guess.
Aaron Donald's probably the best player in the division, but they have the best quarterback in the division.
They have the best quarterback in the division.
That goes a long way sometimes.
Yeah, it does. It does. You can win games.
Seahawks are 4-1 to win the division. The Cardinals 11-1 to win the division. If we just went through the Rams schedule and it's that tough, and they could potentially go 9-7, 10-6, 9-7. One of those two teams could just be the outlier team that's good, and we just don't see it coming.
Everyone's seeing that. They got this
2.5 to 1. People are on San Fran. People think they're going to be good.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Jimmy.
Yeah, there's a look there. I mean,
just bet
I
those
would go,
two teams.
Yeah, I would actually look Arizona more so than. I mean, I take those long odds.
Yeah, just take the 11-1 and hope it happens.
I mean, you have DJ. Last time we saw him play,
yeah, maybe
20 touchdowns.
Maybe Rosen's awesome.
2,000 total yards, and maybe Rosen's fine. I mean, they got Larry Fitz. They drafted Christian Kirk.
He's really coked out.
Yeah.
Might be under the he'll be real fired up week 1.
Yeah.
He might burn out by like week 5 though, where he'll be on the I guess it's not really a PED list. He'll be on the Kenneth Dixon list.
He'll be on the Kenneth list. And
who do you think is favored to win the NFC South?
I don't know.
The Falcons and Saints are both plus 180.
They're tied.
Yeah.
I was going to lean Saints.
They're co-favorites. And the Panthers are plus 260.
Yeah, that's a tough division.
Who do you think is favored to win the NFC North? The Packers or the Vikings?
It should be the Vikings.
It's tied. Yeah, and they're both plus 135.
So yeah, they're just giving that the credit. I mean, the Packers did improve defensively. They drafted a couple corners, maybe 2 of the best.
They have Aaron Rodgers.
3 best. They have
Aaron Rodgers. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, but I just think Minnesota is just all around.
Minnesota's a more complete team.
Better football team.
But Aaron Rodgers, the best player at the best position, the most important position.
Right.
He's the best player, and now he's healthy.
Yeah. Until Minnie gets after him again and cracks his.
He struggled against Minnie.
He always struggles against Minnie. 2 years ago when he was having the best season statistically he's ever had, he struggled against them. Yeah,
all right. That'll do it. Early week 1 lines. Some win totals mixed in there.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, also, it was a good chat to get a lot of this out of the way. I like to talk it through with someone before I really dig down.
Yeah, we got some time.
Well, I got to figure out who Custa's picking too. We just pick the opposite of that, and we'll be fine.
I'll be tuning in.
I'll have me, him, and Feinberg doing the win totals.
Perfect. Yeah, that's must watch.
I bet you Jeff will lock in Chargers over, if I have to guess.
Yeah, thanks, Cuss, for saying Ian Kinsler would be okay this year. He sucks.
He also said the Mets were going to win the World Series, and I think every player on their team has gotten hurt.
It's to no surprise.
They had to trade Coat out, man. Matt Harvey, get him off the team.
Who's actually been okay in Cincy.
Well, you know, hey, listen, it's easy to get blow in New York City, tougher in Cincinnati.
Absolutely. Yeah.
He doesn't have a guy yet, at least,
Needs one.
to hook him up, yeah. Fan tracks, footballers. What are you doing for the footballers?
So I'll be writing DFS for them every day throughout the season. It'll be 5-6 articles contributing. We'll be doing a podcast every week as well. So we'll probably do that Thursday night. It'll come out Friday. Over at Play Picks, writing DFS still, baseball. Be switching over to football, doing some division previews. Guys are targeting DFS, early sleepers.
You're a man of many hats this
That's
football
right.
season.
Yeah, for sure. And then dabbling into hockey. I'll be doing fan tracks all year long, football, but I'll be leading their hockey
It
guide
is true.
here.
If you do need a hockey guy, Meaney's the guy.
Yeah, be writing for Play Picks, DFS, and doing some fan track stuff with them for hockey, leading their guide.
Also, as a throw to the future, I don't know when it's coming out, but you and I did a show where we talked about the best hockey movies of all time. It hasn't come out yet.
Oh, nice.
We filmed it like 3
With
months
Cliffy.
ago.
Yeah,
with Cliffy.
that was good times.
It's been a while.
Yes.
That show is coming at some point.
Yeah, hockey season's coming, so.
Yeah, maybe that's a good time to put it out, right at
would
the
say.
beginning of hockey season.
Yeah.
You're thinking, man.
I like it.
Anyway, at Chris Meaney on Twitter. You can follow him there. You can follow me on Twitter at the PME. Same as Instagram and Facebook, where the entire draft kit is. Please give the episode a like. Always goes a long way. Leave a review on the podcast as well. And say hi to Meaney. Follow Meaney on Twitter and say hi to him. Good to see you, Meaney. It's been a while. And we'll be seeing a lot of Chris Meaney as we go through. Plus, the full fantasy football draft kit is now live for me. All the shows, almost every single day. Still mixing in some golf, but we're getting football heavy and getting serious about it right now. As fantasy drafts, over-unders, everything are coming up. So we need to stay on top of that information, all right? I'm Pat Mayo. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.
Mayo experience! Experience!